I want to tell you about Chapter 1, Teaching in the 21st Century. I love how this chapter starts. It says, in this changing world, those who understand and can do mathematics will have significantly enhanced opportunities and options for shaping their futures. Mathematical competence opens doors to productive futures. A lack of mathematical competence keeps those doors closed. All students should have the opportunity and the support necessary to learn significant mathematics with depth and understanding. That came from NCTM in 2000. The reform in mathematics education began in the early 80s. First, the National Standards-Based Movement. This movement began in the early 80s in response to Back to Basics, which was reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's when problem solving became an important strand in mathematics. In 1989, NCTM published Curriculum and Evaluation Standards for School Mathematics. It said that standards reform began in mathematics, and it continues today. No other document has had such an enormous effect on school mathematics and curriculum. In 1991, NCTM published Professional Standards for Teaching Mathematics. It articulates a vision of teaching mathematics based on expectations described in Curriculum and Evaluation Standards. Math achievement is a vision for all students, not just a few. In 1995, NCTM published Assessment Standards for School Mathematics. It focused on integrating assessment with instruction and indicates the key role assessment has on instruction. In 2000, NCTM released Principles and Standards for School Mathematics. These two documents promoted a revolutionary reform in mathematics in the United States and throughout the world. In 2006, NCTM released Curriculum Focal Points. This says that mathematics taught at each grade level needs to go into more depth, and explicitly show connections. Then in 2000, NCTM was released. It released the 6 Principles and Standards for School Mathematics. The 6 principles that are fundamental to high-quality mathematics education. 1. The equity principle. Have high expectations for all students. 2. The curriculum principle. It's more than a collection of activities. Mathematics is an integrated whole, not a collection of isolated bits and pieces. 3. The teaching principle. It requires understanding what students know and need to learn, and then challenging and supporting them to learn it well. 4. The learning principle. Students must learn mathematics with understanding. Students will be required to evaluate their own ideas and ideas of others. 5. The assessment principle. Assessment should be done to guide and enhance learning. 6. The technology principle. Technology is essential in teaching and learning mathematics. Calculators, computers, and other emerging technologies are essential tools for doing and learning mathematics. Technology increases exploration, enhances representation, and communication of ideas. There are 5 content standards: numbers and operations, algebra, geometry, measurement, data analysis, and probability. There are also 5 process standards, which are mathematical processes through which students should acquire and use mathematical knowledge. They are problem solving, reasoning and proof, communication, connections, representations. In 2006, Curriculum Focal Points was released, and it was a quest for coherence. It pinpoints mathematical targets for each grade level that specify the big ideas, and topics related to that focus are organized to show the importance of a coherent curriculum rather than a curriculum with isolated topics. Like curriculum focal points, Common Core state standards were adopted. They build coherence through research on what is known about students' understanding of mathematics, and Standards for Mathematical Practice, Common Core. There are 8 standards for mathematical practice. First, standard for mathematical practice is make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. 2, they should be able to reason abstractly and quantitatively. 3, they must construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others. 4, model with mathematics. 5, use appropriate tools strategically. 6, attend to precision. 7, look for and make use of structure. 8, look for and express regularity in repeated reasoning. Finally, becoming a teacher of mathematics. It describes the characteristics, habits of thought, skills, and dispositions teachers need to have to succeed. Teachers need to have knowledge of mathematics. They need to have profound, flexible, and adaptive knowledge of mathematics. They must demonstrate persistence, have a positive attitude toward math, and be ready for change. They must also be self-conscious and reflective. This concludes Chapter 1. Thank you for joining me.